Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I want to make one last video here about my 2018 MacBook Air. So it has been over a year since I have purchased this MacBook Air. Of course, it was the 2018 model. It's when they completely redid the Air, and I bought it not too long after it was announced. Now, like I said, it's hard to believe that it's already been over a year since I got this thing. This is the product that really just kicked off my channel. I've made so many videos with this thing, so many things about it that I like, things that I don't like, virtual machine stuff, reviews, just all sorts of videos. So if you want to check out a lot of MacBook Air content, then head on over to my channel and go to the videos tab where you can find all of those. I will probably be making a MacBook Air playlist as well, so you can find those videos a lot easier. And by the way, I was gonna make this video back in November, so it'd be the year anniversary that I actually got this, but time kind of got away from me, the holidays and end of the year stuff, so it was pretty busy. But here is my final thoughts on the MacBook Air 2018. So first off, why did I get this thing? Well, I've talked about it in a few other videos, but this was my replacement for my 2011 MacBook Pro. So with me, I usually don't buy Apple products every single year. I usually try to use them as long as possible. And my 2011 Pro decided to last me all the way to 2018. It could have went a little bit longer, but of course Apple decides to not support it with software updates anymore, so that means it's time for a new computer. So I was looking around and my first instinct was to, of course, get another Pro. Well, at the time, the MacBook Pro was not updated. I believe it was like 2 years old or a year old or something like that. I mean, the specs in it weren't bad, but this computer was just announced, and I decided, well, I might as well get the latest and greatest, right? Now, I was a little bit iffy at first. Of course, the Air has, a slightly less powerful processor, but the other specs are still very decent. Of course, all these new Macs only come with USB-C ports, so that really wasn't a problem for me. I wasn't worried about that. I was really worried about the processor, but the processor has really held up and has exceeded my expectations, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But really the reason why I got this was I wanted the latest and greatest. Like I said, the Pro hadn't been updated. This was all new. It was just announced. That's why I got it. I also got this thing because I really liked the design. Now, yes, the Pro has a fantastic design as well, but I just loved how Apple made this thing all new and completely thin, even thinner than the previous Air, which is just crazy. I don't even know how they did that, but I loved how they kept that same Air shape. So it's thicker at one end and it gets thin as you go towards the bottom. So even if you still put these, put this next to a Pro and an Air, you would still know which one is which. Of course, it has the design language, and it is very recognizable as an Apple product, and the space gray looks awesome as well. Now, the one thing, like I said, that I was worried about was the performance. Is this going to perform as good as a Pro? Well, this computer has the slightly smaller and less powerful processor. It has the 1.6 gigahertz dual-core i5, while the Pros have more like a 2 gigahertz and something processor. So it's quite the difference, but it really has not been a problem for me. Doing normal tasks and even things like editing 4K videos in iMovie, it's really not an issue. I also bumped up the RAM in my spec to 16 gigs, and that of course has helped a lot as well. So as far as performance goes over this past year, I have not ran into any hiccups whatsoever. I mean, this thing is always smooth, it's always fast. The only times where you may notice a slowdown is when you're doing virtual machine stuff, but even then it's still not as bad as you would think it would be. This also helps too though, because macOS is just really good at how it allocates RAM and how it performs tasks and everything. So the smaller processor is really not a burden on this machine. Now, any problems over this past year? Well, no, and I hope it stays that way long term, just like my MacBook Pro did. But I would say the only problem that I'm having, and it's really not a problem, it's more of just a complaint. I made an entire video about this, I'll link it below, but it's the keyboard imprints onto the screen, and it imprints all the time, and that's just really annoying for me. It might not bother you, but I like a nice clean screen, and it really is terrible every time I have to open it and wipe my screen off. But that is literally the only complaint I have. I have not had any issues, and I hope I don't have any issues with the butterfly keyboard. People, of course, were still having problems with the butterfly keyboard on this MacBook Air, but it looks like Apple has finally decided to give up that keyboard design. They've went back, of course, to the traditional keyboard on the 16-inch Pro. So let's hope my keyboard stays in good shape. It should, but of course I'll let you guys know if any problems happen to come up. And as far as holding up, of course, you get what you pay for with a Mac. The build quality is excellent, other than the keyboards, of course, but there's no dents, no scratches. I've tossed this thing into a book bag several times, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it still looks brand new the day I bought it, and it has really held up really nice. So, is it a good buy? Well, absolutely. If you are somebody that is just needing to do normal everyday tasks, you need a good, high quality laptop, then this is the machine for you. But it can also handle more intensive tasks. If you need to do video editing or audio recording, music stuff, photo editing, whatever, this thing can handle it. And as you have seen, if you're not new to the channel, all my videos of virtual machine stuff, this thing handles it like a pro computer. So it is a really good all-around laptop. So that is my final thoughts and final review of the MacBook Air. There may be a video from time to time here with the laptop, but this is my final video probably about just the computer itself. Let me know if you have any questions. Do you have a MacBook Air? Do you like it? I hope this video helped you out. It is a fantastic computer, probably one of the best Apple computers that I have ever owned. But guys, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. 2020 has got a lot in store for the channel, so I hope you stick around and join me throughout the year. But anyways guys, I will catch you all in the next video.